All right, folks, for this project, we're going to look at the channel slot drawing. I'm going to take you through how to create that drawing. Hopefully, the goal here is to where you guys can get to where you can see the orthographic projection, so you can see the top, the front, the right side views, and create this on your own. That's the end goal of this course, is to get you to that point by the time we get through this 8 weeks. But if you're getting stuck right now, this video is here for your help and for your reference. So you can complete the work. I don't want anybody failing this class. This is about learning a piece of software. This isn't about testing your knowledge as much as it is trying to learn a new piece of software to put into your tool bag. So I don't want you failing. That's one of the reasons I do give you most of the answer here. I'm going to walk you through exactly how to create it. The one thing you won't see here is the actual weight of the material. That is your grade. So if you create this correctly, it will have a certain mass that is associated with that. I grade it based on how close you are to that mass. So for instance, once you've built this part and you've attached the material cast alloy steel to this part, and this is in metric, you can see it's metric because it's got mm, so that's millimeters. Once you have built this part, you should be at, and I'm going to put a hypothetical number out there, you should be at 1,000 grams. And that is not the correct answer, just so you know. You should be at 1,000 grams. If you're at 900 grams, but the part looks correct, meaning you probably only have 1 or 2 dimensions off, I'm going to give you at least an A on that. Okay? If you're at 900 grams and the part just looks like a block and it doesn't have any of the structure, I'm not going to give you an A on that. So I'm still going to use my own judgment to grade the actual mass of the project. So there's 2 grades. There's a grade for turning in the part itself to making it look and be correct. And there's the grade for the mass. How close were you to the actual project, or the mass of the actual project? Always, first thing you should always look for is, 1, the name of the drawing, what material it's made out of, and then the variables. Those are the first 3 things you should always look for. Once you've found the variables, identify where they're at on the drawing. For this one, A is 104. A is right here. That means from this point to this point, so this line right here is 104 millimeters long. B is 25, so the height of this piece right here, which is also the height of here, is B, that's 25. And then C, which is 19, so 19 is the height of this right here, which would also, if you went to the side view, it'd be the width from here to here. Okay, so it's essentially the width of this piece here. So here to here, here to here, or the width of this. Either one of those is the exact same thing. It's just looking at it from a different perspective. Okay, so we're going to dive into this drawing and how to create this. I go through these fairly quickly. You can always pause, rewind, do what you need to do, but I'm going to kind of move at my pace for this one. Okay, so we're going to go to SolidWorks, New, Part, okay. We're going to make sure first thing it's set up to the correct units. This is mmgs, millimeters, grams, seconds. Your part will be graded in grams for the second part of this assignment. We're going to start out on front plane, sketch. Once we've done that, we're going to look at the drawing real quick, and I can see real quickly this drawing is incredibly symmetrical. We have the same piece on the top and the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start with this piece and then mirror the top and the bottom to be the same. Okay, so I'm going to start with this piece. So if I'm looking at this piece, I can see that this is B tall. I can see that it is 25 wide, and B was 25 already. So I know it's 25 by 25, and how long is it? Well, if I go from here, I don't see any dimensions going down to this point. So if I scroll up, oh, I got a dimension going here, 100, comes straight down to that point. Oh, that's got to be 100. Okay. So we're going to use what's called a center rectangle for this one. That just makes it symmetrical, and I'm going to use the origin as my center point. Okay, so once I have that, I'm going to smart dimension this thing. I already said it's 100 wide. And I said it was 25 tall. And then I need to make it into a 3D part. So I'm going to Features, Extrude Base. And I'm going to use mid-plane for this, because what I want to do on this one, I'm going to show you this in a second, is I want to keep all the planes directly in the middle of this object. So I already know it's 25 thick as well. So that'd be 25, 25 this way, 100 long. There's our object. Now what I just did by doing that center rectangle right on the origin and doing it mid-plane is my front plane is now in the middle of the object. My top plane is now in the middle of the object. My right plane, look at that, right in the middle of the object. So put the origin right in the middle of this. That way if I want to mirror anything, it makes it super simple for me to just click on a plane and mirror it around that. Alright, so I'm going to go back to the front of this object, and now I need to draw this shape. And while I have it, I'm going to go ahead and draw these other shapes as well, because they're already here for me. So I'm going to go ahead and go front plane, sketch. I'm going to use my line command. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit, and I'm going to start drawing roughly the same shape. It doesn't have to be exactly the same. This piece right here is really key. I have a lot of people make the mistake of clicking right here, but you can see in this drawing, it doesn't attach to that. It's actually out just a little bit further. I'm going to go out. I'm going to make it sure it lines up, but I'm going to go out just a little bit further. I'm going to close the shape for that polygon. Then I'm going to create this piece. It's kind of the same thing. There we go. And then the last piece is this channel slot. So that is right here. It's called a straight slot. So I'm going to go ahead and create a line. And then once I create the line, without clicking anything else, it starts to create a slot. I'm just going to go ahead and set it down randomly. I don't need to define it yet. I'm going to do that in a second. Okay, so let's go ahead and throw on some dimensions. First dimension I can go ahead and throw on is the height of this thing. Well, what's the height? It's all the way over here, 35. 35. What's the width? Well, I can see from this point to this point, I'm at A. A says it's 104. So I'm going to grab that line. That line was 104. Alright, well what's this line? If I go back here, well it says that line is 95.5. Let's go and throw that in. Alright, got that one in. And over here, it doesn't really define all this, but it does define overall. So my overall is 130.5. So let's go and put that in. So I'm going to go point to point this time and go 130.5. Good. Okay, and then the height of this line right here, well, it shows that that is 17. Again, I've done this a bunch. I know where to look for dimensions. You guys, that's part of what you're learning, is to look at the drawing itself and find the dimensions. That, especially in the first couple weeks, is going to be half the battle for you, is just finding where the dimensions are actually at. The next thing I need to do is, you can see all the rest of the lines are black, meaning they're defined. The only two that are blue still are these two. So do I have any dimensions on that? I don't have a linear dimension, but I do have an angle. And it says those angles are 45 degrees. So I'm going to go ahead and click. Now, when we do an angle, sorry, I should back up just a second. When we do an angle, there's two lines you have to click to get an angle. You always have to click a baseline, either a horizontal or vertical, and then the line that it's associated with. So I'm going to click this line first, and then this line here. Don't click on the center point. Click this line here. Now we can see that angle popping out. 45. Alright, one of the videos I put up there for this particular assignment is something called a sketch relation. Okay, a sketch relation says this line and this line are paired together in some way. I'm going to use a sketch relation right here to get this angle as well. I could put a 45-degree angle on it as well, but I don't want to dirty it up with so many dimensions. I just want it to be what's called collinear with this, meaning it's in a straight line. So I'm going to select on this line. I'm going to hold down Control on my keyboard and select the other line. When I do that, you can see these properties pop up. Now I can make this thing parallel, perpendicular, equal to. What I want for this one is collinear. When I click on that, you can see it now is also a 45-degree line. And then if I select on the line itself, you're always going to see this little sketch relation pop up that says, hey, these two lines have now been paired as collinear. If I want to get rid of that, I can simply right click on that little thing and hit delete. Now you can see that one is no longer paired with that. So if I wanted to move this, I could. Okay, whenever I have it collinear, I'm going to do that control click again, make it collinear. Whenever I do that collinear, I can't move that anymore. It's aligned to it. There's no moving it. So it's defined. All right, let's define this last piece. This is channel slot. It says it is 48 wide. It says it's 30.5 from the edge, not the edge of the arc, but the edge of the straight line to the end. And then it says it's 15 tall. But here's the catch. We have another one down here that says it's 11 tall. Okay, well, which is it? Well, we have a 2 millimeter fillet. So if we look up at our isometric view, we can see this rounded edge on here. Well, that rounded edge comes into effect whenever we start talking about distance. So if I have 11 millimeters in the middle, then 2 on the bottom and 2 on the top, 2 plus 11 plus 2 gives us our 15. Okay, but right now, does it have that rounded edge? No. So right now, this from here to here needs to be 11. Okay, and then we said it's 30.5 from the edge here to this point. 30.5. We said it's 48 wide. Good. And the last thing we need to do is actually align it where it needs to go. And you can see right here, it actually lines up, the center of this lines up with this horizontal line. All right, so the next thing we need to do is make these 2 points aligned. Well, how do we do it the first time? We simply took this line right here and did control click, and now we can make that collinear. That brings that up. That's exactly what we want to do to get that into its space. Now you can see everything is defined. We can go and continue with extruding. All right, let's extrude boss face. We have our shape. We actually have 3 different shapes, and if we hold our mouse over, we can actually see all 3. We have 1, we have 2, and we have a 3rd space right here. Okay, so we have 3 different polygons that we need to identify. Well, let's go ahead and do the biggest one. So the biggest one is this piece right here. Well, how big is it? Well, if we're looking around at our drawings, we can see a dimension of 12. Now it looks like it defines the width of this piece right here, because this piece right here, which is this, is C, which is 19. So just looking at it, that makes sense. That looks like it's proportionally about 19 versus 12. So that looks like 12 is the correct number right there. So let's go ahead and put on 12. Select our object. Rotate it around so it looks good, and we are still on mid-plane. If you don't do mid-plane, it ends up pushing it actually out to here, which is not what we want. We want to go mid-plane on this one. So mid-plane, check. All right, where you're like, oh, Mr. Shepard, the rest of our drawing went away. Again, if you remember looking at that video I sent, the page that I had on extruding multiple sketches, this is how we do it. So we're just simply going to go back to sketch. So now we can see those other 2 sketches, extrude boss face. We're now going to select on this one. We know this needs to be mid-plane as well. 19. That one's looking pretty good. Okay, this already extrude cut it out. That's perfect. That's exactly what we want. If for some reason you didn't put that on there, you could always do it later simply by selecting on this face and sketching and putting a new sketch in. That's up to you. I prefer to do it at the beginning. But we do still have that fillet that we need to add in. Remember, we had that 2 millimeter fillet. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. We're going to go up here to the top into our feature menu, and there's a fillet button. The fillet naturally is going to go to a constant size fillet. You can do a variable. You can have it do what's called a fillet expert, which is basically it's going to guess what you're trying to do. I usually use the manual version, which is the constant fillet size. I make sure my full preview's on. Okay, that's a big helper. If you don't have full preview, you can't see what it's actually doing. I'm going to set my fillet size, so I'm going to set it at 2 millimeters. And now all I need to do is select what edges I'm going to do. I want to do this edge here. That looks pretty good. And then I want to do this back edge. There we go. That looks pretty good on both sides. This is exactly what I'm wanting to do. Check mark. And now it's looking pretty good. So if I go back to my drawing, I can see I pretty much have the top half of this. There's this little cutout, but you can see it goes all the way through both. So I'm actually going to do that at the very end. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on the bottom. Well, how do I do that? Well, again, I did put a page in there for you about how to mirror using the feature command. Okay, so we're going to go up to mirror. First thing it always asks you, what do you want to mirror it about? What plane do you want to go about? What axis do you want to go about? Well, right now it doesn't show anything, so how do I get to it? My design tree is over here. I need to get to this top plane because that top plane is right in the middle. But whenever I go to mirror, that goes away. How do I get back to it? Well, up here at the top is your design tree. It's just been collapsed. So we're going to open that up. Oh, there's our whole design tree, just like it was showing before. And I'm going to go ahead and click on top plane. So now I know I'm mirroring everything around top plane. Do I need to mirror any other planes? No. The only other thing I need to do is select features to mirror. What do I want to copy? I want to copy all this stuff up here. Well, if I'm looking at it, this Boss Extrude 1 was the first box I did. Boss Extrude 2 was the second thing I did. You can see it mirroring down there. Boss Extrude 3, oh, yep, that puts in that big box. Fillet, yep, that puts in those. So now it shows all the things that I wanted to copy. Now I can just hit check mark. And there we go. So it copied everything that I wanted to do. Oh, I had a save reminder on there, sorry. I do recommend that you go ahead and set up a save reminder. This is now that it's showed that. That's going to be up in your settings. And in settings, in general settings, there is a... Where's she at? I promise it's in here. Backup and recover. There we go. So I have an auto recover or auto save that's going to be set up to remind me every so often. That is extremely helpful. I highly recommend you set it up too, and where it's going to go. This just helps you with not losing work that otherwise, if SolidWorks crashes, you're kind of screwed on the work that you just did. All right, getting back to this one. So we have just a little bit left of this drawing. I'm going to go ahead and go to the top view now, and we had this cutout here. So you can see from the top view, we have this little 10 millimeter by 5 millimeter cutout. So I'm going to go to my top plane, sketch. Now you could click on the top of the object too, that's up to you. I'm going to use a corner rectangle this time. From that corner, somewhere right up in here, we do not want to select right here because you can see that's 12.5 tall and it's going to lock onto that position. We don't want it to lock, so we want to go just shy of that. We're going to smart dimension that to 10 tall, 5 wide. Features, extrude cut. We're going to rotate back to our isometric view, that way we can see it clearly. Okay, and right now you can see it's going right from the middle, and it's not quite big enough to go through the whole thing, so we're just going to keep increasing until it gets big enough. Alright, there is also through all both. We could use that feature as well. Either one of those works perfectly fine. That cuts that piece. Now we got it going, looking good. Final step here is don't forget to put on your material. We're going to use cast alloy steel. Again, if it is not in your defaults, you simply hit edit material. You find steels. We're going to find cast alloy steel for this one. Hit apply, close. You're going to see the color change a little bit, and then you're going to hit evaluate mass. Again, I'm not showing you mine because this is one of the parts of the assignment where I need you to tell me what you got. That way I can compare it to what's correct. Okay, so good luck with this one. If you have questions, please give me a shout out. I'm more than willing to help you out with it. You can always refer back to this video as I walk you through step by step.